Hello and welcome to a very special episode of GreenZone, Ireland's favourite American football podcast. Tonight we'll be discussing the upcoming flag football finals in Dublin. As always, I am Chris. I'm joined by my good friend David. Chrissy is back from juggling training or whatever it is she was doing.
Philanthropy. Teaching.
How long are we
blind
going to
and
do
the
this?
We're always going to do
blind and the
it.
deaf.
Chrissy is unreliable. We're going to do it.
Hey, I was on holiday and I deserved it.
Teaching kids how to.
I got sunburnt. It counts as a holiday.
We're also joined, at this point, he is just the last member of GreenZone. Owen Flag Football Connolly, GreenZone's official flag football correspondent, expert in all things flag and tag. We're going to be joined by some more special guests. Some haven't arrived yet, thanks to Owen. But who has arrived is Sam and Sam, the two Sams from the North Down Dragons. Welcome along, guys.
Hello. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on. Just before we do get into the whole flag football thing, a bit of a show announcement. As some of you might have noticed, we haven't fired an episode up in the last couple of weeks. We've taken the decision to come away from NFL and focus primarily on the stuff over here. We just think, should I say, it's. We were more passionate about the stuff over here, and trying to focus on NFL content was detracting from what we're doing. We're incredibly busy. Myself and Dave are now getting our asses kicked every week at the Trojans. Chrissy's focusing on her fantastic photography skills, covering all different sports across the country. So this will probably be the last show for a long time, and we'll probably do a couple of specials around AGM and stuff between now and the preseason. We're all going AFI only and other stuff.
Can you do like a live AGM show? Like
100%. We're doing an AGM show.
I say we just show up and stream it.
Yeah, just on phones.
I don't have the money.
Oh no. Get your tickets for the AGM. Yeah, it's your say in the league.
And award night.
Can't complain if you don't try to fix it. So yes, flag football finals. It's been how many weeks did we have, Owen?
7 weeks, but 6 for each division. If that makes sense. So
6 weeks, 12 games. You can see we're experts on this. This is why we recruited Owen.
10 games. Each team had 10.
Owen, I need you to wiggle your mic. I need you to wiggle it. It's annoying noise. Or go back to the old one.
Owen, wiggle your mic. You have 6 seconds.
What was that now?
You did mute it.
Oh, Chrissy, have you not seen this before? Yes, we have a technical difficulties.
That's fantastic. Is that just instead of you interrupting with the countdown again?
Yes. Countdown was 30 seconds. We can keep it on. So yes, guys, this Sunday, starting from 9:30 at the Sport Ireland Complex indoors, we'll be having the flag finals. It will be live streamed on the AFI's YouTube channel. Apparently being presented by us. Matches will be commentated on by Owen and Ruben.
Yep, Ruben, I think from the Wolves.
Yep. So we will be bringing you all the scores, all the updates, and we're in charge of entertaining you in between matches. So we apologize in advance.
You're going to be bored. You're going to be very bored.
Yeah.
Wait until I pull out my celebrity stories again because I don't know what to say. AFI will be buzzing with that.
Well, yeah. I think, no. I was trying to think of a good spin on it, buddy, but no, I don't think we can.
No, I'd rather there's silence.
Yes, just dead air. So I think it's worth noting now that we're a flag podcast that flag Olympic sport LA 2028.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone who played in the European Championships is all like going to be a fucking Olympian now. Here we go.
Come
The
on.
fact that I'm going to be 40 means that I'll not be an Olympian.
And the fact that you know
Oh.
out about flag.
Yeah, the fact that I'm an offensive lineman who cannot play flag. Listen, I've got my own charity flag team. I'm going to be the best head coach because I'm 0-6 in the fantasy. So,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Well, you know, Alex Sims might beat you to it.
Yeah, for those who are not in our flag group, or not flag group, our fantasy group, the Lisburn Leatherback Sea Turtles charity flag team, which apparently is going to be a thing because Phoebe Schechter wants to play us with her flag team. Whoever loses, who comes last in the fantasy this year, has to become the head coach. But all members of the fantasy football league are players. So we have fucking some current Wolfhounds.
You have a team.
We have like current Wolfhounds in flag, current Wolfhounds in kitted, with representatives
I think you're
all over the
tanking.
country.
You're tanking to participate because you're not getting in the starting lineup. So you're
Oh
gonna
no,
be
I'm not
head
making the starting lineup at all.
with your nice sunglasses against Phoebe Schechter's, what is it, Sacks in the City? You're just
Yeah.
going to be there like, yeah, I'm a boss here, even though you were 0-14
I just don't
or
want to
whatever.
run. I just don't want to fucking run.
You're doing New England Patriots.
Yeah, I'm getting for a good draft pick next season. I suppose let's jump into this weekend. Let's jump into talking about some teams that have come along out of completely, utterly fucking nowhere with an absolutely bitchin' logo, and have surprised everyone. It's the North Down Dragons. So Sam's is Sam squared. Are you guys like? Are all of you new to flag? Have you played flag before? We know nothing about flag, so you could be like celebrities in this fucking league.
No, so well, basically there were three of us who played before. Me, Johnny, our quarterback, and a guy Josh, who's another receiver. We had played for the Lions last year for the twos. And what happened basically, we we're all mates. We were watching Red Zone one night just after the season last year, and we weren't able to make training very often for the Lions because that's a bit far away, and the nights never suited us. So we were like, well, we just make our own team, and we did. We didn't realize how many hoops you have to jump through to do that, but it was good. And sort of long term, our plan was, maybe 3 years time we'll be able to sort of challenge to get moved promotion or something like that. And we've smashed it this year, which is sort of unbelievable. But from just sort of three mates who played before and a few other mates coming along to being there's 18 people.
18 in the group chat.
On the,
What, 15 are rookies?
Yeah. So
that's nuts. That's
Awesome.
nuts.
Yeah.
And you guys you only lost one game so far this year.
Yeah, lost to the Cowboys, who are also a very good team.
Yeah, Cowboys, different gravy.
Yeah. It's been.
So you're happy with the season so far?
Yeah, pretty
Very
happy.
We're top of the league. First time try.
It's the top of the league.
I mean,
It's all right.
okay.
We're off 3 people.
But like that's the thing. We don't have anyone who's a coach, like who's done any sort of coaching training or anything like that. Johnny, who's our quarterback, played in Aberdeen, so he's got a lot more experience than the rest of us. But and he's been very good. Like he's been sort of our head coach.
Yeah.
Without having any sort of qualifications for that, but it's been great, and we've kind of just worked it out as we went along, and
pretty much
done all right.
Yeah, well, what do we think has led to your success this season? Is it just kind of the passion from the players? Is there something in the water down in Newton Nards, or
the water.
just the water?
I think a big
Don't
part
talk
of
about
it
the
is
water.
Oh, algae bloom.
Don't talk about the water.
All about the algae.
good stuff. No, I think a big part of it is like we're all mates, so like we see each other all the time. We already have that kind of understanding of what what people take well in terms of feedback and that sort of
Yeah.
stuff, and like you know, there's no and if people do stuff wrong, we can tell each other, because there is that sort of, I don't know, trust already there.
Yeah, that's what you don't need to say there's trust. It's expected. Everyone's on the same page. Everyone's working towards the same goal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think as well, then, like, we've ended up with a few absolute athletes on our team, which has really helped.
Yeah, like we've got a couple of people who have just left school and they were all rugby players. So I think for them, it's just sort of,
Nice.
skills that have transferred very easily. And then we've got a couple of them are hockey players and stuff. So a lot of them were already athletic. But I think really, like, most of our training sessions are just like good crack, like bit of fun, and I think the ones who came along at the start who weren't really, we wouldn't have all sort of individually been friends with, we now are. Like, we were running routes a few weeks ago and one of us was like, did we just become best friends? It's like, like we are all just, good crack. And I think that sort of helps a lot, because then even to transfer that to game day, like if we do something wrong, you're coming off and someone will say to you, like, you ran the wrong route, or you were meant to be, covering front left zone and you completely left your zone, and they're not being rude about it. They're more just like, you did that wrong, get over it, like move on. So I think we've worked out what's done well. Like, first week we would have sort of been like, you shouldn't miss that flag. And it's like, well, I know I shouldn't miss the flag, I didn't do it on purpose. Whereas now, you sort of, you maybe say it once, but now we just know. It's like, oh, we don't need to remind them. Like, they know, we all sort of know what you can.
But you also need to tell them. You also need to tell them.
Very much
That's
so.
that flag. You missed that flag.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the other thing as well. Like, we've got 15 people there who didn't know the rules before when we started training, which was November.
This time
We've got 3 people on this podcast that don't know the.
I was just about to say that. Get out of my mind, Chris. Get out.
So, it's been class.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Just a bit of crack, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, something to get out. I mean, it's interesting to say about hockey, because you think of like sports that immediately transition into American football, specifically flag football. You would go rugby sevens, GAA, sort of Gaelic football. Hockey is an interesting one, but it makes sense if you think about the footwork.
Yeah,
It's just a
exactly.
lot of running. It's just a lot of running with a stick.
Fitness, this is a big thing. Like, and
Yeah.
And I think if you play any sort of sport, you kind of understand how sports work and team sports. So like that always makes a big difference too. But we have a whole mix of backgrounds, but it's worked. It's worth a treat. So hopefully it keeps working on Sunday.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this year, the 2 sort of standout shocks have been yourself and the Labs. Even more shocking than that we're still waiting on them to come on the show. Owen.
I'm going to turn into an Excel bully.
Owen, you're muted.
I've heard nothing. Joe Buchanan just texted. He'll be on in 10 minutes, he says.
Yeah, he was training tonight.
Yeah.
Never miss a sesh.
I know. We didn't miss the sesh, but we didn't miss the podcast either.
Exactly. You've got your loyalty.
That's why you're 9-1 in your first year.
You have to be able to do it all. You have to be able to do it all. Yeah, but I mean, if you think of... Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's more just that people from North Down can read a clock.
Oh, wow. The
We
poor
have
people of Laois.
standards.
Can I ask, why North Down? Like, what was wrong with the rest of them?
Oh, mate,
Yeah,
you're
I'm
not from
currently
around
down.
here.
No, to be honest, I mean, I don't know the answer, so I'm going to guess here.
Just the area.
Yeah, it's just more the general area that we live in. Is
Yeah, because
It's like
it's
North
Cumber. Yeah,
Cumber, sort of the-
Cumber,
Ards,
Ards,
Hollywood.
Bangor is really
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
And-
sort of that
and Money
as
Ray.
well.
and Money.
yeah, exactly. Like, whereas down the county goes like right down to
Is it
Newcastle,
Newry?
and
That-
doesn't it?
That's it, Newry as
And Newry.
well.
Some really
Yeah, no,
small-
well,
Yeah,
Newry
Belfast.
is in itself a county.
but
Wait,
yeah,
I'm
so
in County
it's-
Down.
Yeah,
well,
you
you
are.
know what I mean? Like, so it's
Yeah, you
quite
are.
far. Whole of Down would be quite far, whereas North Down is sort of like the local towns close to us. And like, if you want to travel from further, like, we're not going to check your postcode, but I mean,
That is the most North Down thing I have ever heard in my life.
T-shirt, T-shirt,
7.
T-shirt.
BT.
BTG7, gross.
Yeah. Well, as far as the map is concerned, South Down would be like the bottom of the Mourns, just around the corner from the Mavericks. Whereas North Down would be even further north than the Trojans.
Would it?
I'm not going to question it. I'm not going to question the Mavericks and Down, but like just
Not as
across
far
the
as the
road from the
Trojans.
Mavericks, did you say?
It was just, well, sorry, like Newcastle to Dundalk would be like half an hour.
Getting off track.
We're on geography
No.
again, which I have shown that I have no idea where anything
We
is.
don't
in
know
this
enough
country.
about flag. We don't know
Flag,
enough
let
about
alone
geography to
geography.
discuss these topics. So just stop.
Oh yeah, what I was saying is, so you have yourselves, you have the Leash Labs.
Yeah.
Complete standard. Like everyone was very, very shocked, and much like yourselves, you kind of thought you were coming into it with, the 3-year plan, start to be competitive, but you're competitive out the gate. And when you compare that to teams like Setu last year, who came in as a brand new team, and then had, well, I'm not going to say shit show, but it wasn't far from it, and just had an absolute nightmare. So I mean, it's insane. I mean, the logo for me means you should win out anyway. I mean,
Oh yeah.
if we were to do a sexy logo or sexy flag logo or something along that degree,
100%.
thank you.
between that and the Mavericks logo was pretty sweet actually.
So when we were naming our team, we had a few sort of
Options.
animals to choose from. We
Oh, I
wanted
have to hear this.
we wanted alliteration, so like we considered the ducks,
Mighty Ducks.
like the Mighty Ducks, but then we
Yeah.
thought if we're Wick, it's getting beat by the Ducks if the Ducks are class, it sort of makes sense. Where
Yeah.
they are the Mighty Ducks, whereas if it's just those Wick Ducks, that's not great. Like,
Is it Lisburn Rugby called their bottom?
They're the Ducks.
The lame
They're the-
Ducks.
the lame
Uh,
Ducks.
all I know is if you were the North Down Ducks, you could have got sponsored by Castle Espy.
It's what every dreams of.
It is an underrated place.
Chrissy's just like, I'm in North Down too. Here we go.
I know
I
places
have
finally.
No idea what you're talking
People
about.
are talking about places and it's like, yeah, I've been there. I got chased by a duck in Castle Espy. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just looked up a map, like of all the counties. Who the fuck drew this shit up? Who put down in the places?
Ben McCool. All right.
We moved on.
Good job has been done there. Armagh should be
Worse
the
than us.
twice the size Armagh is. Like, what the fuck is this?
You hear there's just going to be a team in Enniskillen next year?
Oh,
Is it?
Is it? Oh, is that
Yeah.
the Lakeland Gators one? Or
I've no idea, but apparently there's a team in Enniskillen that's looking to join the league. Also, Owen Enniskillen, far as fuck.
Yeah. Live there,
who's in Skillen?
things
far away from everything.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
The closest
Like I said,
landmark
nowhere.
to the
We're
Sligo.
in fucking grey steel there, the flag, and that was about as far as I think I'll ever travel for flag.
Yeah, people would be like, I can't wait to go to Cork.
I miss Cork.
Never.
Take me back to MTU Stadium. What a place!
Yeah, I saw Joe Kinahan's alarm for the games this weekend. He
Great.
set for 4:15 or something. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, that is so
We did-
great.
I
We
thought
had
I
a
was happy.
conversation. I was like, I feel like it would be worth the fine to just not do the game.
Yeah.
It'd be worth the fine to just not drive and do that game if you had to wake up at 4 a.m. I'd pay the fine personally for our team if that was the
I
case.
think they did have playoff hopes, so
Oh,
Yeah.
that didn't end up
sorry, Joe.
working out for them. But
Hang on, they had playoff hopes. Did
They
they get
didn't get
relegated?
it by.
Yeah,
They
he
had
re-
playoff hopes and
Sorry, Joe's not Minotaurs.
He's
That's right.
Edenbury, isn't he?
He's Maynooth
Oh, is he?
Hurricanes. Not Maynooth
Maynooth.
University Hurricanes, Maynooth Hurricanes.
Maynooth Hurricanes. Yeah.
oh.
I just found Enniskillen on a map. What the fuck?
I had to drive to Enniskillen from Lisburn. Took ages for a goddamn cauldron that we use for shoes.
Is this the
And it was a
shoe
long
cauldron you talking
drive,
about?
and it's a huge cauldron. That's the only reason I've been to Enniskillen, and I don't want to ever go back because it's too long. I'm sorry to the people of Enniskillen. It's too far away. Even people close to Enniskillen, it's too far away.
I worked down there for 6 months and went down every Sunday after Red Zone. So from 1 o'clock, I would have been traveling to like 3 o'clock to start work at 8 then on Monday morning, just because I'm so committed to Red Zone.
Yeah.
I did a job up in Enniskillen as well, and it was like every day for like 4 or 5 months, and it was awful. It was awful. My boss is like, "Are you using the van for like personal use because you're married?" So how's it go? Enniskillen's far as fuck.
It's a lovely place.
The title for this is going to be Enniskillen. Why does it exist?
See next year when this Enniskillen team comes along and they're just like, "We've a bone to pick with you."
I'm looking. It must be the Lakeland Gators. There's a fuckload of lakes around there.
Yeah.
That's got to be them.
Yeah, there are many lakes in Enniskillen.
I just see a message come into our Instagram because I accidentally called Joe Kinahan an eagle. I'm sorry. I don't know much about this. I was quite proud to even remember the Edenbury guys. He is Maynooth. I'm sorry.
Also, I just want to
Who sent the message?
Oh no.
What? Oh, wait.
Oh, we've a new audience now.
Ooh.
That's our
Who are these people?
Yes. You're helmet people. What's going on here?
Dragons.
No sleeves.
But yes, well, while we're waiting on the other guests, let's run through Sunday here. So you guys aren't going to be on until midday. You guys are taking on the winner of between the Dublin Rebels and the NA Razorbacks. So everything starts at 9:30. We've got Rebels and Razorbacks, followed at 10:45 by Eagles and Trojans. So these are, Owen, correct me here, the wildcard games?
No, yeah. So Rebels Razorbacks is the Division 1 South wildcard, and Cowboys Outlaws is the North Division 1. They're on the same time.
Oh. There are two sections to this table.
Right.
There's two pitches.
There are two
Might be easier for
tables.
just
I've
share
got
the
the list
table.
if you need that.
Yes.
Share the
yeah.
table. It might be easier.
So
No, no.
So at 9:30, both Division 1 wildcard games are on pitch 1. Now this is provisional. They might change. Who knows? You've got the Dublin Rebels and the Northern Ireland Razorbacks. And on pitch 2, you've got the Craigavon Cowboys 2s and Cork City Outlaws.
Ooh.
Yeah. Can everyone read that okay?
No.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, this is why I didn't want to share it. All right, there we go.
Current landscape. We'll all just turn our devices over.
Everyone flip your phones.
This is interactive. It's an interactive stream.
So yeah, so this is pitch 1 and pitch 2. Do we know what pitches are being covered by what cameras, Owen?
Well, considering the finals are on pitch 1, you would hope that one.
That's why you're the brain.
Yes,
Yeah,
I will be commentating all day on pitch 1. So
yeah. So matches that everyone will see is pitch 1 here. So Owen, out of there, out of those wild card, what's the game? What is the game to be glued?
out of all 4 or 2 for
Out of the ones that are going to be on the stream, Owen.
okay.
Ones we can see.
Are the ones the people at
ones
home
we
will
watch.
be able to watch.
Even though we don't have a choice.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they're both kind of as interesting as each other. Both the Trojans and Razorbacks would definitely be underdogs in the games, but like, you know, it's the wild card. Anything can happen. The Eagles, like they've had up and down like performances. Now they've been very good the last few weeks. I mean, what they did to the Belfast Knights on Saturday probably be illegal. Like, it was disrespectful the amount of points they started putting up. But yeah, you know, if the Trojans have their best game and the Eagles don't quite have their best game, then absolutely the Trojans can beat them. And the same with the Razorbacks Rebels. I haven't gotten to see much of the Rebels. I saw them play against the Labs and the Wolves, and they looked like a very decent team. So, yeah, I would expect the Rebels and the Eagles to go through, but, you know, I would enjoy an upset just purely for commentary purposes.
Yeah.
Comment.
So Big T's not gonna win out here.
Chris is poking you with a stick, Owen.
I can't hear him.
He's
He's like,
I was going to say he's not poking him with a stick. He's poking him with a crutch.
Oh. Also,
okay.
can comment, Sam's. Also, I'm going to assume Calvin Cousins is also one of the dragons as well.
He
Yep,
is.
would be.
Yeah.
Calvin is his brother is like on our team officially. Calvin is 15, so he's too young to play, but he's in our. He calls himself
Development squad.
the academy. The
Oh,
development.
so that wasn't a joke. He was actually asking us to tone down the language.
Yeah, Isaac, be respectful to your audience. If they're going to request it.
Yeah, you know what? Fair enough. You know, that's completely fair. We
Yeah,
do swear.
apologize to Calvin's
Don't
brother.
worry about it.
I will swear. It'll just come out. I'm sorry. It's not
Yep.
mean to be offensive. It's my vocabulary. To express myself.
Calvin's mum, if you can hear us, we're very, very sorry.
Sorry, Karen.
All right.
Yeah, love you, Karen.
Oh shit! I've closed this down.
Oh, you swore. We lasted 30 seconds.
Oh,
Yeah. So while I go to bring that spreadsheet back up again, I'd like to bring our next guest on,
Way.
the one,
Woo!
the only, Joe Buchanan.
Hey, folks.
How's it
Sorry,
going?
I'm late.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you guys.
No, you're all right. You're all right. How was training?
We weren't training tonight. I was busy.
All right, fair
But now I'm
enough.
here.
Mr. Duddy, straight in with the questions here, by the way. Friend of the show, Jason Duddy, asks, how's rugby going?
Okay.
How was the rugby? Rugby was class, yeah. Delighted to be home. But no, the rugby was brilliant.
Result loss.
What was it though?
We don't need to
Was it
bring that up,
brilliant?
Owen. We don't need to bring it up.
No, we don't need to bring it up at all. We don't.
Then
need
why
to
bring it up? We brought it up.
Blame Jason Duddy.
Yeah.
Also, tell your brother, like, fucking. Can everyone add Joe's brother on Snapchat, please?
Chris, you just said effing.
Oh, sorry.
That's a pound in the jar. Right.
Do you take check?
Pull up bounce.
Yes. So Scott is one of the Lisburn Leatherback Sea Turtles as part of the fantasy league, and he was Absolutely steaming over the weekend. Absolutely steaming.
Oh, did you see
But
all
anyway.
the carry on? Yeah.
No, that was just voice notes. It was just voice notes of him singing.
All right. Yeah, there were
Oh,
plenty
yes.
of
Okay, yeah, I do remember that. It's like, okay.
beverages consumed.
Yes, a few shandays,
As they should be.
Yeah.
But Joe, we're here to talk about flag or flag, depending on what side of the border you're on.
Flag. Yeah,
How's
it's
it,
definitely
how
flag.
are you feeling? You have two teams in playoff in final contention on
Yeah.
both sides of Premiership and D1.
It's been a good season so far for sure. Like I was surprised actually that we're the only club with two teams this year. I thought there would be a few others that would have had the squads, I suppose, to put two teams out, but didn't transpire that way. So like it's been an excellent season from that point of view, having the two teams and getting them to the playoffs. But like I keep telling the guys, it's only half the journey. So this Sunday we'll be hoping to come home with two championships. You know, we were in the same position in 2019. The ones got beaten in the semi-final, and the twos won the Glass Bowl that year. So sort of 50% there. But no, this year I think we're in a good spot, really good squad, and that by squad I mean the two teams combined, and really looking forward to Sunday.
Yeah, happy days. I mean, one thing I've always wondered: the Cowboys absolutely shit hot at flag. Absolutely shit hot. Very unfortunate to not be the reigning world champions of Irish American flag football.
Well, that's Joe's fault. He was on the Panthers last year.
That is, yeah.
Oh, his fault.
Fair enough then. Yeah, right.
Sneaky
What I was going to ask is to bring a kind of half back to Kitted. Craig Abbott still fantastic team. Very unfortunate this year being relegated. But there's such a dominance from the flag side. I mean, do you have like a large flag roster that has nothing to do with the kitted side? It's almost like two different teams altogether.
I think this year's been an interesting one where we retained pretty much the full squad from last year. We've had quite a few come back that hadn't played, say maybe the last time they would have played would have been before COVID. And then we've had a really good rookie class as well. So I don't really know. Like again, like Owen was saying, I was with the Panthers last year and I didn't play tackle football last year. So I can't really talk for that side of the house. I think things, especially injuries, just from speaking with Scott and from the other guys in the team, just really, really hampered them in the tackle season last year. And but like there's quite a few. Majority, I think, of the ones team anyway would play tackle. So obviously a lot of experience from the season just passed. And yes, it may not have been great, but it certainly lit a fire in their belly for flag. And like we've plenty down this year. I think our squad, our flag squad's in and around 38 at the moment. And there's plenty of people that have come back and who are also new to flag football who want to start playing tackle. So I think it's a bit of a recruitment avenue anyway for the tackle team next year in Div 1 or Prem or wherever it is, whatever the shakeup's going to be with the leagues.
Yeah. And obviously know nothing about flag. Two teams. You've got your Div 1 team and your Premiership team. When you guys start the season, is there like a line you have to draw with the league to be like, right, persons A through L, they're going to be on team 1. Shit, I can't do letters in my head. Remaining letters, they're going to be D1. Or are you able to say you've got a D1 player absolutely turn up shit and you're like, fuck, we could do with him, we could do with her, we could do with them?
Yeah, so there is basically at the start of the year you have to submit two rosters, two separate rosters, and that's our assigned team for the year. there is a rule that allows you to do 4 transfers. So that's up and down. So you can't. There's not really too much movement. Like in week 1, we had a bit of a quarterback shortage, we'll say. So I had to step in with the 2s, which are, when I say our friends from the Dragons are here, they will know all too well. Then I bounced back up, but that would have been essentially 2 transfers. So I think probably, I know we're talking about rugby, but there needs to be a little bit of work in the off season on that, because it is very, very difficult, particularly when it comes to injuries and holidays as well. Like in the weekend just passed, which was the cross divisional day, we only had 8 for the ones because just people away on holidays and whatnot. So probably something haven't quite come up or something to suggest to the league, but 4 is a very, very low number. And I understand it to keep it competitive and so that, star players aren't jumping down to the 2s, and there does need to be some sort of sportsmanship within that. But yeah, there needs to be more than 4 anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming regular transfer rules apply. Oh, and you might want to listen to this. I'm assuming you need to play X amount of games to be eligible to play like playoff games and stuff like that. You can't just turn around and go, right, here's 4 lads from the top team to go and absolutely destroy the D1 playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. You have to have played 3 regular season games, so not game days, just 3 regular season games to be eligible for the playoffs. So if somebody bounced down the week before for one last regular season game, then they wouldn't be eligible for the playoffs. So again, that's also very limiting. It's something that we need to look at too. But where we are now, I think we've managed it pretty well between the coaching staff and the committee and everybody buying into what we're doing. And the squad's just been excellent. Everything we've asked them to do, they've done. Of course, there's people that's going to be disappointed that they're missing out on the 1s and having to play with the 2s, but that's just the nature of the sport and
that's sports.
Nature of sport in general in terms of competitiveness. Yeah. So, but again, like I said, it lights fires and bellies, and people want to strive to do better. And we're seeing a lot of really good performances in the 2s this year.
Yeah, and do you think, and this is probably a question for all the bottom row here, who's got the flat good kid at the top, or gobshites at the top, and people at the bottom.
People who know nothing, people that know more.
With LA28 coming into the fold, do you guys see recruitment wise in the off season going to go buck daft? Any takers?
That was the answer. That noise was the answer.
Well, I know, like, we have already, so I've trained with the Women's Wolfhounds, so like I know that chat since Friday when it was proposed has been bonkers about it. Like, we've all been talking about it. And then when it was announced yesterday, it was announced that we're officially for LA28. Like, I know then, like, it even made it to the Dragons, and like I've had people that I know through, like, I'm a teacher, and I've had people I know through school bring it up to me, like, oh, like, so is that going to mean, like, are you in Olympian now? And I was like, oh, yeah, that's me. I like 2018 or 2028, not 2018. But,
Sorry.
like, so I think the fact that it's now, like, my dad was like, they were talking about it on BBC News tonight. So I think the fact people now know this is actually a serious sport. Like, I've had kids I teach secondary school, and I had a kid turn on to me in class yesterday and be like, who grows up and thinks they want to play flag football? Like, surely you just want to play hockey or like rugby or something. And I was like, not really. Didn't really want to play any of that. Just happened to follow the flag. You know what I mean? So I think it's the sort of sport that, as much as having other sports, a sort of history helps you with it. If you've got that rugby background or GA or hockey, the way we were saying earlier, obviously, yes, it helps you with those skills, but like, flag's the kind of sport that I think if you have like, I'd never played sport until I started training for flag last November. So I think flag's the kind of sport that you can just pick up, and if you train with it, you can sort of pick it up quite well, quite quick. And I think LA 2028 is definitely going to encourage, I think, more people to do it, because more people will realize, like, oh, this is a thing. You know, it's a thing outside of kidded football, NFL in America. It's sort of, it is more local, and they do have other sort of teams for it, which is class.
I think it can only be a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of getting people into the sport.
The quality of the game over here will increase as a result massively.
Yeah.
100%.
Can I make a clarification there? Sam just said that she trained with the Wolfhounds. You played with the Wolfhounds. Like, well, as well. Like, you didn't just come off the bench and get. You played really well against Sweden. You were robbed of a touchdown, as far as I remember.
I was, but we didn't talk about that one.
Train is a bit harsh on yourself. But
Thanks. Owens or not?
they
Owens.
didn't put ages into that graphic saying that you played to have you just trained.
Yes,
Yeah.
I played against Sweden. You're right. Thank you, Owen.
Owen is the PR master of women's flag football.
love
The
it.
female Wolfhounds. He is just like the biggest cheerleader.
Yeah, it's literally
I know.
what I was going to say. Really.
Yeah, and the under 20s in fairness. I have my flights and accommodation booked to go take photographs of them in Bristol at the end of November.
Oh, that's the same weekend as the intervarsities.
Flag universities. Yeah, the rest of the Wolfhounds fan club can't come because of it. Shocking.
And Joe, do you kind of think the same? LA 20 is only good for. I mean, you guys have like an amazing amount of players, and you've got quite a long-standing program up there. This must be like music to your ears.
Yeah, like it put flag football on the map. You know, as much as we've been shouting it from the rooftops, there's only so far our social media platforms can go. So it's been brilliant, and yeah, it's been BBC, ITV, RTE, whatever all these ones down south are. So like it's really, I think, opened up the island to the fact that the sport is here, it's played here, it is freely available. But what I'm really hoping, you know, especially with the Steelers now taking off in Ireland alongside the Jags, the Jags have the Jag Tag program, and I think if they're really serious about football growing here, they need to get it into schools, and they need to put the investment into bringing flag into schools. And you know, Jag Tag's great, but it's still very much only if people know about it. Whereas if it's in schools, sort of in people's face, and the children have to do it, you know, and essentially that's how people get into like rugby. Well, you have to do PE. People are forced to play rugby and hockey.
Yeah, I definitely think you're right.
Yeah.
Because that's like, I had my GCSE class being like, why do you play like American football? Like, you're from Northern Ireland. How did you even do that? Like, and they named like every sport that they play in school as sports that I should have played instead of flag. So that's, I think if it's in schools, that's where most kids will get a passion for sport. So if that's what they're being taught, then it sort of helps them build that knowledge on it.
Exactly. That's why basketball has really kicked off these past 5
Yeah.
to 10 years, because there's been so much investment from Basketball Ireland or whoever it is, and they've obviously got the money from a load of Americans, but they're putting it in the right place. And I'm not saying that AFI has bags of money and they're not putting it in the right place. I'm just saying with the likes of the Steelers and the Jaguars here and LA 28 and everything, there needs to be a bit of a strategy, because it really is. This is the time now to make flag one of the more premier sports in Ireland. Not obviously it'll never take over, but it can certainly rise from its pretty low ranking at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, like, and we are built for it. I mean, probably the best example is when Ireland decided, you know what, rugby sevens, we're going to be doing that now. And this is maybe 5-6 years ago. There was a massive push on rugby sevens. And we as a country who had nothing really to do it was like, boom, right, we're third in the world. Like, we have the ability. If we're able to do that with something like sevens, and become a third in the world at rugby, on that, like, that is a competitive Olympic team in flag football. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh yeah, we're going to win the Olympics, because let's be honest, America's going to win the Olympics. America's going to win it.
They will try
Don't know
really
that.
hard.
Yeah. But like,
I don't know. Did the
right
Mexican
personnel-
women's team not win the last championship
Yeah,
beating
Mexican women's
USA? So
Better than the US.
I don't know.
I know.
Anything can happen. I just have
It's
to be at
not-
the party.
It's not the same sport, but the Real Madrid basketball team just beat the Dallas Mavericks in a preseason game.
Yeah.
So
Saw
you
that.
never know.
Yep. The Steelers also were absolutely shit hot in preseason, Dave.
Yeah, but we're playing American football teams. I guess it's a team from Spain beating a team from America. Like, that's unbelievable. That's
Barcelona has a fucking has a flipping flag football team.
very good.
Yeah.
Love it.
Karen,
A lot
appreciate it.
of European football teams, like the Central European teams, have basketball teams as well.
Yeah. I definitely
Especially,
need to break this whole you wouldn't catch me doing that mentality
Yeah.
of every flipping athlete over here. Like, that's what we'll do. We'll just go canvas Gaelic games and rugby games and go, see when your season's over, come see us. Come see us.
But
Could we
Well,
that's the thing.
it's a good point. Like, there's plenty of GA, particularly GA ones. There's a lot of transferable skills there, and like they tend to be the ones that come in and just pick it up so quick and become the stars of the team. So like, there's certainly a market there for people that are, have fallen out of love with the likes of GA or rugby or whatever it is. That there is something out there for them.
Sean
but again,
McVay,
it's
key example.
yeah. But it's all about marketing and getting it out there. And I think, again, with the Steelers and Jaguars, like there's an LA 28 now, like this is the time.
Yeah, so if you want to be an Olympian, play flag football.
are you telling me?
Hey, if you go for a niche sport, you're more likely to make your national team. Whereas if you go for like something really
Okay.
popular, you're not making
Popular.
I used to do rifle shooting. He's like,
You're not good enough. You're not good enough.
Shit at rugby.
Yeah,
Come see this
absolutely.
at the flag, people.
it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Sorry, Chris, are you telling me that Sean McVay played sports before American football?
Yes.
I just assumed he was built in the UCD lab to play.
He was. It like he had this like GAA life before that up in Schlegel, and then they took him in, and he was in the biomed campus one day, and then like Captain America, they just fucked him, and flipped him, and put him in a tube,
Put him in a tube, injected
put him in a
some
tube,
other
pumped him
There
full
we
of all
go.
sorts of nonsense, and then like boom, Sean McVay comes out.
Just watch our viewers dwindle after every swear.
Every time I swear. Yeah. Oh, here's an interesting thing. Boom. Flag has already been introduced in the several primary schools in Kildare. But it had nothing to do with the Eagles. Eagles do better.
I know in the past
Do
like,
better.
there's been glimpses of it, where like rugby would have development officers in areas, like there was sort of whispers of that and people trying that, but again there was just no real money behind it. So yeah, and they have, like, that's years gone by, Robbie, that they've had it in schools. So but yeah, it's absolutely what needs to happen.
Well, this maybe something that the league should look at. Oh, and take a note to send to Ben.
Yeah.
Do we, as teams throughout the country, become a designated flag officer for the area? We go to Sport Ireland or the one for up north, which I can't remember the name of, and go, listen, guys, can we have some money for some belts, some cones, and can we go out and just be the representative for the area and talk to some schools? I would like that. Here's the thing about this sport over here. Nobody who plays this sport isn't obnoxiously passionate about it. Like, if you want people to talk absolute shite for hours about football, like, any one of us from any team in any position will do that. And if they turn around and go, you're like a player rep for the club, you're going to have to be like the flag rep for the club. Like, it's very, very easy to deployable. You've got the people there who are already passionate, and it won't cost that much to get. How many flag teams have we got, Owen?
20.
How many flag people on a team minimum?
Minimum 9, I think. On the roster.
9. So we'll call it 10. 200 belts and tags. Like, I can't be that much. But divvy out across the league.
I might be showing my age. This scheme might not exist anymore. But I'm 26, by the way. I'm not 50. But you see, when in primary school, Sainsbury's used to give you the little tickets that your primary school could build up and get all the equipment.
Yes.
And you used to get all this random.
Oh,
stuff.
remember them?
Yes.
I don't know
Also
if
Dave
it's still a
Shops
thing.
and
I feel like yeah, if you could incorporate, be like, here's some flag belts, play it in your wee PE sessions, something like that could be beneficial because it is pick up and play. Like with myself, I loved football, soccer, Gaelic, because you could just get a ball and you could play with 4 mates. You could do the exact same thing with flag, but it wasn't available to me. If it was available to me at that age, I'd play it with all my mates. All you need is a little belt. You don't even need a belt. A jumper wrapped around you, you can get it whacked off. So just getting it introduced in that sense. But I don't know. I was like, what is this? But I might be totally wrong if it still exists.
That's
nearly
I
sure
haven't
it's
seen
not.
it about.
What they do now is well, I
Wee
know
blue
they do it in
discs?
Tesco and in Asda, yes, the wee discs, and you can sign up as like a community, so you can sign up as like youth groups or like BBs and that kind of thing. So for every however much you spend, you get a wee token, and then you like put it in it, like, and they make it really fun for kids, you know, with like the wee sort of sticks that stick out, so your ball or your disc goes back and forth, doesn't just fall right down. You know,
Oh,
it has
I
to be fun.
Like
That's fun for adults
Yeah.
too, not just kids.
Yeah, sorry, you're
Every
right.
McDonald's 2 in the morning.
Yeah,
Joe,
yeah.
you missed it earlier when
however
we.
many,
Oh,
I
good.
think however many tokens represent a certain amount of money, and then they give it like that. So it's not tokens anymore, or it's not like paper anymore. It's more recyclable now. It's better for our environment. You see?
Good.
Paper wasn't recyclable.
Well, I don't
Well,
No one
we
recycled it, though.
didn't recycle shit back in. We did recycle stuff back in the 90s. We put it in landfill and burnt it. But yeah, it like. Am I oversimplifying this? That an email would solve a lot of, or not? I don't think there's a problem. Like I don't think there's a problem. I think we're a niche sport. It just is. But I think like it could be very easy to be make a massive impact in recruitment, which ultimately mean you've got the infrastructure there to build these teams, to coach these players, to bring people in to find their passion in the sport. It seems to be it could be too simple in my eyes. I'm a bit too black and white in this scenario.
Well, having been on the board and I'm going to sound like I'm defending the league because I am. It's not as simple as that for sure. Obviously, you need the money for all the belts, the balls, the cones. Then you need to find people that can coach the teachers or whoever it is. And if if you're talking about going into schools, which are 9 to 3, when most people are working, then you don't really get many hands up for volunteers. So you almost have to pay people. And then on top of that, you need to have the domestic structure in terms of if a kid finishes school, I don't know, whatever, 15, 16, is there a club for them to go to? And yes, flag is set up for 16 plus, but not every club has the appropriate child protection officers and child protection certificates and all that kind of thing. So there's quite a bit of work to it, but is it possible? Absolutely not. It just needs investment in terms of resource and money.
40 grand a year, I'll do it.
If you pay
But I
yourself,
think
No. You need to give money.
Yeah. But I think like the school perspective, especially, they're not gonna. Most schools wouldn't just take something that not clearly has just been thrown together, but even though it's flag and it's non-contact sport, it's very easy to get injured in flag. And I think most schools, especially if it's not a teacher leading it, like most teachers are then covered based on the fact that we teach in that school and that you'd have all of that. But like if somebody got injured and they were technically under the watch of somebody who's like an outsider to the school, I think most schools would need like a lot of like insurance and
personal liability
policies, and it wouldn't just be a case of like, go on into that school and chuck a wee flag belt on and see what happens. Like it would take a lot. I think it's not quite as black and white. I think it's
So the
called-
Federation of PE Teachers is who we need to get in touch with.
Yes, get
Yeah.
into the universities.
Plenty of them.
Oh shit! I had to say something. I was lost in my own thought of how I'm going to fix the country's flag problem.
The man who knows nothing about it.
But he's passionate. He is passionate.
I'll give you that.
I love that we barely sorted out like getting women into the sport, and Chris is already like, all right, fuck it, straight on to the kids now. Let's get them all involved.
Right, one's dropping
shoot for the
F-bombs. Insane.
Sorry,
stuff.
Calvin. Sorry. My
Calvin,
apologies.
when we release merch, we'll give you a signed GreenZone jersey as a as an apology.
Mine won't even be joined up. It'll just
For-
be like
For Calvin's like grounded now. You're not watching that anymore.
He said it's okay. His mom's not at home. She went out.
All right, F-bombs around.
We drove her out of the house. We drove her out with our foul language.
But yes, back to Sunday.
Sunday.
Surprisingly, we went off on a tangent. So,
Never
Joe,
happened.
Craigavon, both teams, you guys are on pitch 2. So, viewers, we're assuming now, we haven't got final detail, that they won't be on the live stream until you guys face off against the Panthers in the final. Yous are up against the Outlaws at 9:30. You guys, the main team, aren't in action till after lunch. Outlaws, how you feeling?
Pretty confident. Like, obviously, we haven't come across each other this season, nor last season. Actually, the last time we would have played the Outlaws was in the 2019 Glass Bowl Championship game, which we came out on top. So, obviously, it's been a lot of time, a pandemic in between. So, it's hard to really know in terms of what they're going to bring. But from our side, like, we're looking really good. Like, training the past couple of weeks has been great. We've been playing relatively well. Well, we've been playing really well. 8-2. Again, our Dragons friends on the call giving us them 2 losses, but we did beat them once as well. So, yeah, look, we're really building well. We have our final training session tomorrow night. Like I said, training's been going well. Numbers have been really good, 20+, and yeah, like we've pretty sure we've got a full roster as well. We don't have any injuries, so yeah, like we'll go out, we'll give it our best shot, and we're just going to have to try and adapt. Really, what we'll need to adapt in terms of what Cork are doing, but you know, in terms of our offensive plan, we're fairly confident.
Yeah, and are you you're hoping for the double?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Expecting the double, should I say?
Of course, yeah. No, look,
I'm just trying to cause
said,
beef between you and Sam Squared here.
I actually have a question for Joe. Sorry to take over your interview, Chris.
You should turn away.
How does promotion work?
you guys?
We're a bit confused in terms of, well, not for that. Like, I know the second team can't go up, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a good question, and I'm not entirely sure. Now, it used to be there would be one from north and south go down and one from north and south go up. Last year, I believe it changed, so only one went up. So whoever won the final went up, and the corresponding, or sorry, no, it wasn't the corresponding. It was whoever finished bottom overall went down, and then rejig the divisions if needed. And I can't remember. I'm not sure what's in the bylaws at the moment. I think it is still that. So it's one up, one down. And
I've been told by Ben that the bottom from each division gets relegated. So the Minotaurs and the Knights. I don't know.
Well, if Bossman said that, that's how it is. So yeah, there you go. 2 up, 2 down then.
There you go.
Then who goes up then? Is it, say if the final ends up being 2 north teams or 2 south teams?
Yeah.
Do they both
So
go up?
obviously
Or it doesn't have to be in
Cowboys-
north and south.
Yeah, the Cowboys can't be promoted. So, like, say we were to play the Razorbacks, do we both get promoted if we're both promoted that way?
No, one of
Not
them.
sure.
So, in my
That's a good
head,
point.
what makes sense would be like whoever does the best from south goes up, and whoever does the best from north goes up, no matter who's in the dance.
But is that the best from the playoffs or from the regular season?
Ooh.
Playoffs, I would assume. I have no idea here. I've only played a year.
No.
It's a fair question, and it's something that I guess Ben and the committee, which I'm also on, which I should probably know the answer to this, but I can clarify for sure, and we'll get it out there somehow. But yeah, anyway, our twos definitely can't go up. So
Yeah, but that would make sense. So the best eligible team for promotion in D1. So whether that is the 4th place finisher. Oh, is there a 3rd, 4th playoff game on? No.
nope.
Oh, so that's kind of where we get muddy.
Yeah.
If you had, say, both. Yeah, if the semi was north-south, north-south.
Yeah.
And 2 south teams go through, for argument's sake.
Yeah.
Then I would say probably then it would go to best in the league, not playoffs.
Well, this is us just speculating.
Yeah,
but,
we're just deciding.
Yeah, you would have best performing
This is like when you
team.
asked me why we're called the North Dawn Dragons, not just the Dawn Dragons. I'm just deciding.
Ben, we haven't sorted.
Yes.
Information, I've just decided.
Yeah.
This is why
I think you're right.
I don't know enough.
I think you're right, particularly, and I hate to mention forfeits, but I think when it comes to the regular season and people and teams forfeiting, like it should be the strongest teams through the regular season and have proven then essentially that they can play a full season well. That goes up, and again, whatever happens in the playoffs, like it doesn't necessarily reflect. Like you could just have a bad day, and it doesn't really reflect your season as a whole. So I would agree with that. Yeah, it should be.
Would it make the playoffs not pointless, but like, is it just for fun?
Playoffs
Almost.
then are almost
For
like
the
just
bowl, for the
cross-
medal,
cross. Exactly, you need the
Yeah.
bowl.
You gotta pay for the silverware.
the championship. Yeah,
Thing then.
North south.
Yeah,
So
north south to make it
Like
more of
each other,
a
but, yeah.
full league or something. Don't know.
Don't know.
I mean, out of it, I know there's talk. We're going to bring this back to Kidded for just a second, but we will be going back to flag. Of this big old dirty D1 thing going on in the Kidded game, where it's like you've got the Shamrock Bowl Conference, or Shamrock Premier Division, sorry, should I say, and then you've got like 400 teams in D1, and they're trying to segregate it, and nobody knows how it's going to be done. Different teams propose different ways. The flag one does make sense. It does make sense, but the only thing wrong with it is it needs to be 2 up, 2 down. It just has to be 2 up, 2 down. You can't start rejigging divisions because traditionally the southern teams, bar a couple of outliers, are the stronger teams. So they are, I think, maybe it's a more developed game down there. That you will have just that problem that you could be a mediocre team in a different conference and actually retain your position, where you've got a team in D1 that could be really competitive, but by a technicality, isn't.
It would effectively stagnate the North Division if, like you're saying, like if a Southern team always wins D1 playoffs.
Yeah, it's not always the case, but it's
up and down.
I could be thinking with my kidded head there, where the southern teams are just a little bit stronger.
Well, no, I mean, this Saturday in Premier Division games, all of the South teams won all their games. The North teams lost all their games. In fairness, the Cowboys had like 6 players. But
we had 8. But what I would say is we top seed locked in. The Trojans and Vipers had their playoff spot locked in. I know we were short numbers, but we absolutely were not short in our full hand either. Whereas the South Division still had all to play for it. Now, I'm not taking away their wins or whatever. Like, you go play a match, you want to win it, absolutely. But it's not a fair reflection. And it's a good point, I think. And not knocking on Ben, he's done a fantastic job this year,
Yeah.
but it's maybe one for next year if we move the cross-divisional games earlier in the season when everybody still has something to play for, and you'd probably get a truer
Yeah.
reflection then in the strengths of the two divisions. But again, not knocking on Ben, we're trying a lot of new stuff this year, and for the most part, it's went really well. But I think, yeah, that's definitely a suggestion for next year. So it's a better reflection of where the two divisions are, because yeah, it was a bit of a washout for the North on Saturday.
And I think generally, like, you know, we didn't have cross games, so we only played the North teams. But like, I know when we played the 6v6 in Dublin in June, like that was so fun. Like, and you don't see those teams often, so I think having cross games are a good idea. And I'll maybe regret that if we have to go to court next year. But like, I think it's a good idea, and I think you're right. Yeah, like having it to be games where actually everyone has everything to play for, because that's when you play a proper game. Whereas if you know, okay, you guys have top seed, then you're not going to do everything you need to in that sense. But also what you were saying, like you could go out and have a rubbish day and just have bad games, but that doesn't mean that then. Like I have no idea about what happened on Saturday because we weren't there. But like,
Yeah, you would have won.
But like that, you know, there could have been North teams who went and had just a rubbish day and played South teams who had an amazing day. So then the South teams looked better, but like sort of if they were to be playing in the same league the whole time, they maybe would have been a bit more competitive. You know what I mean? Like I know. For us, that first week when the Cowboys had when you were playing the QB and we were like, oh, that's great, like this is our first game day, like we've done so well, this is amazing. And then we played you guys the next game week with a different QB, and we were all like, oh crap, this is not the same team, like what is going on, like, and they beat us, you know what I mean? But like I think we were all very confident because we were like, we did so well last time against them, and then we played them and we were like, they just smuggled us. Like
Joe's out of QB and you're panicking. Is that
Big Joe takes no prisoners.
Joe running up to play quarterback, brilliant. We got the wins in the bags, everybody. And you're not wrong, I'm terrible, but
and
the heart's in the right place.
The defense, oh, come on, you can don't just defend back there. Come on, closer, because you were throwing a Hail Mary.
Yeah,
I was like, go, stop, give me a chance, like.
Yeah, no, it was good fun. But yeah, I think, and the reason for the division, so the Premier Division is more, the teams in that are definitely more established. That's why we only did the cross divisional for this year. Again, the F word forfeits, and even this year we still had Westmeath unfortunately pulling out of the game. So I don't know if Division 1's ready for the cross divisional matchups yet, but
yeah,
you know, maybe something in a few years' time when teams are a lot more established.
Yeah, I think we.
Surely the two of you were sitting there hoping not to be worrying about that.
hoping, but
Division 1 should not be your concern after Sunday.
well, I would say like also not comfortable. We the Cowboys have already beaten us this season. The Razorbacks have come close this season, and we have no idea about the South teams because we haven't played them. Like the Labs have had an amazing season. So if it ends up us against the Labs in the final, like that, I can picture being a very tight game. Same as like we don't know what the Rebels are like. We've not played them, so I think as much as I'd love to say, hopefully we'll not worry about it next year.
But if it's the Cowboys, we know it'll be a tight game.
Yeah,
Like it always has been.
exactly.
I was half hoping for you to be like, if it's the Cowboys, we'll beat them.
We know.
It's a given. Engrave the trophy before the match starts.
But that's, I think, you know, with playing the Cowboys, and I don't know if you guys would say the same, Joe, but like we knew we were playing them 3 times, and by sort of the 3rd game week, whenever we weren't playing each other, but at that point it was very much the Northbound Dragons and the Craigavon Cowboys fighting for 1 and 2, and then so we were like, well, we're about to play each other. We're on equal wins. So
And it was
really,
an absolute swamp.
yeah, it was a grim
rain
day.
And it was the second game too, so it was.
Yeah, so it was very much a case of like whoever wins this game is like more than likely going to win seed 1. But we were like, it wasn't like it was a game that we were going into being like, oh, like we've won the league. Like we're very much like, this game is us playing for seed, and it was tight. Like, and it was hard. It wasn't like we throttled them either. Like, you know, it was a good competition, I would say.
Yeah, it was definitely a good game. And like, I know that we had the friendly as well 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And like, our squad's really come on, and like, you guys are brilliant. Like, you're great. And I think actually, having played with the Panthers the past 2 years and coming back north, it's definitely a lot friendlier up here between the teams. Everybody really gets on and really genuinely wants to see everybody. I'm sorry, I'm sounding a bit harsh in the south, but everybody genuinely wants to help each other improve, even off the pitch. Like, I know I've been speaking to Johnny quite a bit in terms of the Dragons and things that they're looking to do in terms of hosting and whatever else. But yeah, that comes onto the pitch too. Like, it's particularly the friendly, and we had Miles, who's 16, come in at quarterback, and
Unrightly.
you know, had a great game, and did make a couple of mistakes, but it wasn't really anybody getting in his face or whatever. It was, you know,
No.
that's just unlucky. You know, better luck next time. So like, it's great to see that, because Miles, we've got 3 16-year-olds in the 2 squad. And they're absolutely fantastic. They really are, and for being so young, they've took to the sport so quick. And they're but it's good to have that environment around them where, yes, people can get teed up and whatever, but at the same time, they recognize that they're young, newish to the sport, and want to see them do well, and hopefully one day represent Ireland, maybe even LA 28 when we're talking about it.
Yeah.
You're going to get through me first.
40-year-old Chris.
40-year-old Chris McGee, his Olympic debut.
That's all right. You need 11 other people in the squad too, though.
Yeah. See, now we've got, of course, finals being final at the weekend. For a flag team, what happens between now and the summer? Are you guys going to keep on keeping on, or is there like a prolonged break? Because I know with teams that have a kitted side and a flag side, once flag's done, kitted comes in. Once kitted's done, flag comes in, and it's kind of like swap rotation. Do you guys play ball all year round, or keep training, or does it tone down a wee bit?
For us,
Yeah.
This is our first year, so we were training all year round because we need to get people to know the game.
Yeah.
And like I said at the start, we're all kind of mates. We just enjoy it, so we probably will. Maybe not as, you know, focused in there every Tuesday, every Saturday, and sometimes on a Thursday. You know, it'll probably be less than that, especially with it being dark. So you're having to pay for pitches with lighting or whatever. But yeah, that's
apparently we have no days off, and we will always be training.
So yeah, don't know what we'll do, but probably will keep training, but just less aggressively.
Yeah, well, I think it's with the big push on flag globally, even with the NFL side of stuff that's been pushed on, being a part-time sports team isn't really an option anymore. I know I kind of touched on this when we spoke to Ben about the Wolfhound squad, that, you know, do we need to see Wolfhounds being a year-long program and not just it's flag season, it's kitted season? But I think definitely, I mean, flag, with all the momentum behind it, if we are going to be a competitive Irish team wanting to go to the Olympics, you can't do it for 3 months a year. It just can't be done. It just cannot be done. Joe, you might be able to shine a bit more. You're on the committee.
Well, I don't have anything from the committee side, but I can talk from a Cowboys perspective in the previous years with the Panthers in terms of the off season. Yeah, like, we're finishing up relatively early actually this year in October, and I know with the Cowboys they do a thing, the Cowan Cup it's called, so we'll have 3 team captains and they'll draft teams, and then it'll be a bit of a tournament before Christmas, and then go out in the last that night, and it's great crack. But then after Christmas, after New Year's, our sort of international window opens, so like we'll be heading to Flag and New Year in Scotland in January. We're looking at other European competitions more towards March, April, May. Nothing confirmed yet, but it's more so to get out there, to get experience against teams that we're not playing as often. You do see a lot of crazy stuff go out there in terms of schemes and playbooks, as well as obviously making a lot of mates and a lot of coaches in particular that you can bounce ideas off whenever, really, now, thanks to technology and the internet. But it never really stops because of that. And then obviously this year, with the season starting earlier, we kicked off our preseason in April. April, May was our more recruitment type, getting everybody up to speed type of window. And then June, we had the start of the tournaments. And obviously then was it July, I think the season kicked off. So yeah, there is a bit of downtime. Then you have to manage that, obviously with ourselves, not so much the Dragons, but with ourselves and the tackle side of it as well. And a lot of players cross over with that. So that kind of takes care of training for a lot of the guys, particularly receivers, DBs. It's all very transferable, apart from the whole, smacking people aspect of it. So when it comes back to the flag tag, you sort of have to calm everybody down. Yeah, it's like, whoa, you can't be doing that now. So,
I remember the first time I was going to say, I remember the first time I actually played flag at training. And it was like, Chris, you're useless. I was like, I know I'm useless. I have no business being on a flag pitch. And it was, do you remember Big Stu was in a quarterback? It was one of and I essentially was like, Chris, just blitz him. Just blitz him. So I got this. And I leapt through the air and just basically elbow dropped this guy. I was like, Chris, now you can't do that.
Grab the flag.
He says he looked up and I had eclipsed the sun. That's all 110 kilo of me's arms up in the air.
Yeah, that is a problem. Yeah, you have to really calm guys down when they come from kitted to flag again. So
we find out in rugby too.
Yeah.
Like in rugby, you want to run at people, whereas in flag, you have to run around people.
Around them. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, as a blitzer, whenever we have people come from, I remember a guy coming for the first week, was playing offense. I ran at Johnny blitzing, and he just took me out, and I mean, flipped in the air, and I was just so proud of myself that I got up and I didn't cry. Owen, you'll know this is a real issue I have. I like to cry a lot. So I was just so proud of myself for not crying. And we were all like, hey, just to clarify, back my hand in the air, you're not allowed to hit me. You have to go around. But that is, most of them, if they come from rugby, they're automatically like, I'll run into you.
See thing, hit thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Was it the Dragons the clip of the Giants player getting absolutely murdered came from?
Yeah, whenever I was being like, yes, John, yes. Oh, no,
That's
John.
the
That's
the best.
No, John.
Go on, John, you can. I can't.
Yes, John, yes, go. Oh.
Yeah, I tore a tendon in my finger, so was out of I played the first 2 game days and then missed a couple of game days, and they were like, Sam, you take videos, get it, just record every snap. And then they realized we don't want Sam to be near the microphone when she records the video, though, because I just screech for them all. And I mean, they take it well. But yes, I did give you the great clip of John taking out the giant.
Per John.
Or was it Ross? I think it was from the Giants.
Yeah.
Or Ross.
That is I think from me, it's one of the biggest challenges with coaching, especially when you're mid-season and new people come down and trying to teach them the rules and the whole non-aspect part of it. And yeah, it depends on the ref as well in terms of how much contact, but really it's a non-contact sport and there shouldn't be that much, but sometimes there is quite a bit. So it's really trying to manage that and coaching people the proper way to do things, especially if you're mid-season, new people coming down and you are the ones that are flying about and you're trying to get them to the next level while also bringing the new people up to the same level. It's a real challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just probably one final question. I mean, you're talking about these competitions out in Europe, and Owen, you might actually be able to shine some light on this. So, if we think of rugby, each country kind of has its own style of rugby, whether it be like the flair of the Irish or the hard hitting of the Southern Hemisphere teams. Is that the same in flag football? Are you seeing that there's like, say, that Spain are doing this and the Netherlands, they're doing that? It's very unique to them and their style of football.
I wouldn't say it's like specifically unique to each country, but there's some countries would lean heavily on like the 2 quarterback kind of system. Other countries would do a lot of like lateral snaps and kind of trick plays like that. Like Spain, I think it was, their men's team were like they went really heavily on lateral snaps. The German women's team dropped 2 QBs almost every play. It just, yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can play, and it's not really specific to any country, but there's definitely like the different styles of play.
Yeah, would Ireland have a flavour?
I think we're still finding our kind of identity. Like we're still a new program, so
Yeah, and you know where people can watch that identity this Sunday. On the AFI YouTube channel from 9:30. Dave, you cannot be unimpressed with that segue.
No,
that was unbelievable, Chris. Well done.
but the Wolfhounds aren't playing.
Yeah,
I know, but no, as in like.
But
what
people
I'm
that
saying
are
is,
on the Wolfhounds are.
no,
We'll get to see
it's
lots of
nothing
different
to do with-
identities, though.
No, it's nothing to do with the national team. So if you look at Irish rugby, I mean, as in, if you look at the interprovincial games, or even what's better, Premier League football. Premier League football is a lot harder and heavier than Spanish League football, or it is. There's different styles of those leagues, so there is what I'm saying, as a country, not just the Wolfhounds. And there's loads of the top teams in the country playing at Sport Ireland campus on Sunday. Some of them are here from 9:30.
Okay, I get it.
But where can you watch it, Dave?
YouTube, the
Wow.
AFI YouTube channel. And you can hear my good friend Owen, because apparently I'm a child now and I'm hosting some terrible children's TV show where we swear and talk about flag football. And I've forgotten who's the other commentator, Owen? Once you get out of your giggles.
Ruben.
Yeah. Ruben and Owen.
Dave, we're also like hosting it.
Yes, I do know that. I wasn't expecting. I was just going on a tangent. You need to reel me in sometimes. You need to go shut up, take the plug out. But yes, I know. But this is the kind of great quality content that you'll get to see in between games. Right? Full silences. Where I'm kind of overexcited at what I'm watching and what I'm learning about the game, just like I was in the European Championships. But I was stupid and didn't take it up because I thought I would take a break this summer due to all the podcasting and getting hammered every Sunday in American football. And I regret not taking it up. So I'm really excited to go down and see. I don't know why I'm doing this little personal bit. Chrissy, say words. Say words.
Say words. Watch on Sunday.
Yeah.
Some good sport.
Words.
Some excellent athletes. Some great commentary. And hopefully kind of decent
Some piss poor
graphics
filler.
on the stream.
And
three of us looking around at each other, not knowing what to do or say.
Yeah, so we
think that
were
pretty much
roaming
sums it up.
around in betwixt the matches.
Very aimlessly.
Yeah. I'll
Do
be
you want
grabbing
to quickly
people.
go through the schedule, or?
Yeah, I will go through the schedule. That'll make sense. This is the flag final preview. So if you've made it to an hour and 25, like I can see the number of people watching
for
this.
you.
Fair play to you, lads.
Won the lads.
And ladies. So just as a recap, guys, at 9:30, this will be the stuff on the stream, okay? So at 9:30, we'll have the Dublin Rebels versus the NI Razorbacks. That should finish up about 11:15, and then immediately after that, we have the Edenderry Eagles facing off against the Belfast Trojans. At 12 o'clock, Sam's Squared in the North Down Dragons, they'll be facing the winner of the D1 wildcard, which is the Rebels.
Razorbacks.
What's that? Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Rebels
Rebels
Razorbacks.
Razorback.
Yeah, Rebels Razorbacks.
Yeah.
And then at 1:15, we will see the reigning world champions of Irish American flag football, the South Dublin Panthers. We will be playing the Premiership wildcard winner, which will be Eagles or Trojans. Yep. At 2:30 is the D1 final. Which one's glass? Which one's emerald?
Glass Bowl
Glass.
is Division 1,
Yeah.
and Emerald Bowl is the Premier Division.
Right. So Glass Bowl at 2:30, which we are hoping will be the Dragons versus the Cowboys seconds. Are we all buying into this? Are we all buying into this?
Yeah.
Are we putting this bias
Yeah.
I
on
mean,
it?
I really like the Leash Labs guys as well, but
Yeah,
they
but who
didn't
do
show
you
up.
Yeah, well, they didn't show up for the podcast.
Didn't show up.
this is true. This is true.
Yes. And then at 3:45, the big guns, the Premiership final, the Emerald Bowl, which, guys, who are we thinking this is going to be? Is it going to be a repeat of last year? Is it Panthers Cowboys, or are we going to be seeing an upset along the line there?
I think Panthers Raptors. Sorry, Joe.
Ooh, going against the guest.
Yeah.
Ballsy.
But it's a guess against a guess is all right.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it'll be a tough one. You know, I think the Raptors are really strong this year. Eagles are on the bounce back as well. The Vipers and Trojans could cause an upset, and obviously the Panthers are there too. So it's really anybody's game. We're obviously hoping it's us, but
Yeah.
who knows? Could it be a rematch? It could well be. What I think it was 20-21 was the score at the weekend there, so it would be a good matchup. But yeah, don't know. You'll have to watch to find out.
Yes, and Joe, where can we watch? We're going to go back and
I
say
believe it's the AFI YouTube channel.
yeah, my YouTube page. From what time, Joe? But yeah,
I don't know. 9:30.
we have had a request for predictions.
Oh, that's so aggressive.
Oh, we got the predictions.
Yeah, we have aggressive predictions.
Oh my God.
And you know what? There is 1, 2, 3. There's 4 games that we know who's playing in them. So let's just finish this off with a bit of fun. Let's offend people that are going to really take it out on us on Sunday. We'll start Cowboys seconds, Cork City Outlaws, 9:30 on pitch 2. Nobody's going to see this match because we don't know if it's being streamed or not. But we will. Dave, who you got?
I'm going Craigavon seconds.
Why?
They have a better record, a far better record than the Outlaws. So I know we're talking about the South might be a bit more competitive or whatever, but I just think they have a really good setup behind them. And I don't know an awful lot about the Outlaws because I am a
They
complete
did,
novice.
they did that YouTube video.
Oh, yes.
They're the funny
doesn't
guys.
matter. That's nothing to do with their performance. So it's Craigavon Cowboy 2s.
The Jets
I'm
can
going for
attest to that. Chrissy, would you agree?
Yeah. I've just every time I see the Cowboys result, either team on Facebook or on social media, I'm just like, shit. That's a lot. Don't know much about that.
Them big
Outlaws.
numbers.
Them big numbers. Need all hands and feet to count that. But I don't know enough about the Outlaws. I've just seen the Cowboys get better and better, so I'm going to go Cowboys.
Sam Squared. What was I thinking?
Sorry for the dog.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys will.
Yeah, I would say Cowboys.
Haven't
So
seen
who do you
win.
want to win?
Oh, not
Would
the Cowboys.
love the Outlaws to win. But I don't think it will. I think, yeah, Cowboys.
But equally, if the Cowboys are losing, that means there's another very good team that we would have to come up against, which I don't want. So,
Yeah.
Better the devil.
Well,
you
yeah, I think that would be a good way to put it.
Yeah.
It's been competitive against us, so if the Cowboys are like pummeled,
I would expect the Cowboys to win.
Yeah.
Haven't seen them play this year and haven't played them 3 times. Like they're a good team. So,
Joe, I know this is going to be a hard one for you. Joe, as a member of the flag committee, not as a Cowboys.
Cowboys. Still Cowboys. Ronan's in there on the flag committee too from Cork, so still Cowboys.
Yeah. Owen?
I'm gonna go Cowboys, but I want the Outlaws to win, and I'm gonna read you a quote directly from the Outlaws head coach for a flag football playoffs preview I'm putting together. Just to explain my reasoning. He says, as always, the Outlaws are travelling to Dublin from the nearest pub to the Sport Ireland campus. Arriving to the venue in time for kickoff will be an overachievement for our crew. We are bringing our veteran expat players, donut hands, slightly cold and ruptured hamstrings, with a 40-year-old mildly inflamed left shoulder cuff. The indoor venue will finally allow us to flash our hairy arms and kneecaps, along with those stunning dad bods. We had our last training session dedicated to playoffs only in June. So we did our utmost best. I couldn't have asked for more from these legends that I'm playing with. I am very proud to be the interim head coach for the last 4 years.
I'm all in on the Outlaws. I'm sorry. I'm all in on the Outlaws.
After hearing that, I'm quite confident in my choice.
Yeah, no. I'm all in on the Outlaws. Those guys. I'm staying down. I'm taking the Monday off work. Me and the Outlaws are getting rode off. So yeah, overwhelming support for the Cowboys. Everyone's very surprised. On the more neutral ground, Rebels Razorbacks. David. Actually, you know what? We'll go backwards this time. Owen.
Fair enough.
Yeah, the Razorbacks definitely underdogs. They could pull off an upset, but I don't know. The Rebels just look so well put together. I think they probably take it. Not easily, but, by a few points.
So it's Rebels in? Yeah.
Yeah, Rebels.
He said.
Yeah, I'd probably say the same. I think the Razorbacks have really come on this year for sure, but having seen who's on the Rebel squad, I would be expecting them to win. Now, that's not to say I don't think the Razorbacks will give them a good game and could do the shock, but I would say Rebels, yeah.
Your microphone.
Yeah. Sabs?
Yeah, I think we were just saying.
I like how you
probably-
mute and like confirm with each other.
Fair.
Like we can't both talk over each other. We're very good.
We have to play the winner of this game. So,
Yeah.
Hopefully the worst team wins.
Yeah.
But
Would guess Rebels will win.
yeah, but the Razorbacks are very capable of an upset.
Yeah.
If that is an upset, yeah, second against third. So yeah, it would be. But yeah,
would love Razorbacks to win solely because
We
we've
know what they do.
played them, so like we sort of know their style a bit more. Not because I think they'd be an easier game based on skill, but just based on we've played them before, so we have a bit more knowledge on it. But yeah, literally no clue.
Coin flip then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're new to all this, so we don't know the teams.
So are we.
What are the odds?
Chrissy.
Going to go Rebels, mainly just because I think I saw last week the game that we're playing on social media. It was at halftime, they were losing, then came back to win it at the end. Very much like how their kitted team plays. So I think that it will be tight in the first half, but I do think Rebels will come away with it in the end.
Dave, would you agree or would you disagree?
After looking at each team's scores from all of this year in the last 2 minutes, I see the Razorbacks have taken a few beatings this year, whereas the Rebels and their losses were quite close. Based off of that, plus all the Razorback scorelines are all mad compared to the Rebels games. They're all quite low scoring. So I'm going to go on like kitted logic in that the Rebels are a more tight unit compared to the Razorbacks. So in a playoff situation, I'm going Rebels.
Yeah, that's fair. You know, I want to say the Razorbacks. I do. There is no team, no other team in this league, across both disciplines, that has impressed me more than the Razorbacks. What they've come from as a D2 team from 2 years ago, in a sniff of playoff contention, but unfortunately just a bit short and kitted. I know the guys to play. There's Big Dunk, there's Ryan Beckett, there's I was going to call him by his nickname, but there's Matt. And like, put these guys in a do or die situation, and I think it's a completely different game. You know, for such a new team being together, like the Rebels always win. It's boring. It's boring when the Rebels win. You know, I get such flack for that as well. Come get season, but yeah, I would love it. I would love the Razorbacks to just go, you know what, do or die. Let's go down swinging, and then get put up with the Dragons.
Keep your guys sweet. But I think you're right. I think they are definitely capable of doing that from seeing how they played under pressure. Like, they definitely have the ability to do it. It's just whether they will or not.
Yeah, it just needs to be right on the day.
Yeah.
Bouncing over across the pitch too. Raptors and Vipers. Now, I know both these teams are good. Owen, aren't they good?
They are.
Both these teams are good. We'll start with yourself, Dave.
I've for some reason, just every now and again, I hear a lot about the Vipers flag team. I don't know why their flag social media pops up a lot on mine, and they do seem to have a good few players. It's really hard though to look past that southern side of it. But I think the Vipers have a good setup. I think they could squeak a win out of that game. Be different. I'll be hipster.
Be hipster.
Yeah.
You were on the Vipers before it was cool. Chrissy.
This is a complete coin flip for me. So I have a coin to flip because I don't know about either. I know is that Darren plays on the Vipers. That's all I know. So it is a coin flip. So Vipers
for the win.
Oh, I'm not hipster anymore. I'm going Raptors.
Are the Raptors the Dublin Bay wine tasting club?
Yeah.
Sam Squared.
I just went to get a coin.
Chrissy stole it.
Oh,
Here by myself.
We have no idea. Never seen either of them play.
Well, I would say I know the women on the Vipers team, and I don't know the women. I don't know any of the Raptors, and I would say the women on the Vipers team are class. Personally,
Go with that then.
Okay, there you
Three for the
go.
Vipers.
Vipers. I thought we were still tossing a coin. Vipers.
Joe.
I'm going to go against the grain and go Raptors. So the Raptors have actually been around a while. There used to be the Vipers, who have won championships in the past, and a lot of them guys, especially Todd Boyan, who's still the main man there, is still running the show. And they had that merger with the Tigers, the Hurling boys. When was that? 2 years ago? 3 years ago? A lot of young guys there, and I see they've also picked up some, I think, boys from the Rebels, possibly play kidded for the Rebels, and who are well known throughout the league for being very good at that side of the sport. So I think they're going to be very strong. The Vipers this year have been very hit or miss, so it kind of depends what way they show up. Like they've been good. They've just had flashes. They just haven't really had the consistency to really stick the dagger in teams. So yeah, I'd probably go Raptors.
It's 3-1 so far. Captain Crackles.
Rice Crispy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Raptors, and I don't think it's gonna be too close.
Oh, you think it's going to be a walkover?
Not a complete walkover, but I think there'll be a few touchdowns, 2 or 3 touchdowns in. The Vipers, they're not a bad side, like they're a very good side, but the Raptors the last few weeks have just put it all together. Like they showed up in week 1 in Blanche with like, I think they had 5 or 6 players on the day. I think they had 6 because they had one guy on the sideline like all times, and it was like they lost both games that day. One to Westmeath, who ended up getting relegated. One to somebody else. I was kind of looking at them and going, Jesus, they're going to be shit this season. There's not much hope. They've started, like they've got, which one of the Johnsons? Greg Johnson, I think. Yeah, they've got Greg Johnson. They've got Rex Harding. They've got God's gift to flag football. Todd Boyan is still there playing quarterback. Like they've got some incredible players over there. I can't see them being held to within a few points. So.
Yeah. After a lot of deliberation, and sort of been looking at all the match analysis, all the scores that have been coming through. I'm just going to mute you here, Owen. After looking through all the analysis and loads of information on teamlink.com for all this sort of stuff, and I'm going to go with the Wolves because the two people who really know about flag football went for the Wolves.
Wolves aren't playing.
I meant to say Raptors. I meant to say Raptors.
No, gotta stick with Wolves.
Yeah, I think out of nowhere, the Wolves are going to come out and be like, they're just going to take it.
After all the analysis.
After all the analysis of me reading the wrong thing.
We're not talking about
you know what it was? Like, I was genuinely flicking. I've got a couple of tabs open here with Team Linked on. For all the different scores, and the last team I saw was Dublin City Wolves, so I immediately went, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm gonna go Raptors. I think they got it. And the last game we're going to pick, which is why I think Robbie wanted us to do predictions, is the Edenderry Eagles versus Belfast Trojans. We'll go in reverse again. Owen, you can unmute yourself now.
Edenderry Eagles. Yeah, they're class.
Yeah, and you beef with the Trojans anyway.
I don't have beef with the Trojans. I have no beef with the Trojans. If the Trojans have beef with me, that's on them. I have no problem with the Trojans. I enjoyed their free pizza. They're good people. Shout out to the Trojans.
Breaking news: Belfast Trojans. Yeah,
just a great team, and Robbie, obviously. Even when there's only like 5. I presume that's God's gift to flag football.
Yes, I know. Joe, who you got? Eagles or Big T?
Yeah, it's another tricky one. So like the Trojans have been quite hot and cold this year, and in our first game against them, they took us pretty close down to the wire. Actually, I think it was a 2-score game in the end, but we scored on the last drive. And then the second time we played them, they had quite a lot of rotation. So it depends again who they. I think I've seen 3 or 4 different quarterbacks in there this year. So it depends who's in and how hot they're feeling. And on the flip side, then the Eagles have been around a long time, have done a lot of tournaments out in Europe. They've won a couple of championships, I'm pretty sure, here as well. I believe Matty O'Meara's back, which is a big addition, obviously with the likes of Jordan Farrell there as well. I believe Keelan might be gone now, but no, they've plenty of weapons there. So I think it's going to be a good game. Again, if the Trojans can show up and play at 100%, then they'll certainly give the Eagles a very good game. But I'll probably stick with Eagles on that one.
Yep. Sam,
So I
Coin
played
toss.
the
just blag it. Just blag it. Speak with
We
confidence, and
contemplated.
then call them the Wolves.
So I played the Eagles in Cork 2 years ago, in a summer tournament, and they were pretty good. So I'm gonna go with them because I've never played the Trojans. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Easy.
Chrissy.
I am going to go against the grain of the two of you. And I'm going to say the Eagles so that one of us sounds impartial.
That's a T, Chrissy.
You fucking
Like,
turncoat.
in fairness, Dave, I can't see you because you're sitting right behind my camera. I just see your hair.
That's why you didn't
Yeah.
pick the Trojans. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Dave, who you got?
I know that the Eagles are quite a good flag team off my very limited knowledge that I'll say every time I speak. But I think it's one of them ones you don't know what you're going to get with the Trojans. I feel like they do have something in them to overcome a really good flag team like that. Totally not biased, but yeah, I'm going for Big T. I was going to go like the U, but I'll go Big T Trojans for this one, so I don't get hit in the face.
Oh, is that
Yeah,
also so that you're not made to throw up next session you're at?
Hi, Dave. How's the limbs?
Sore, like early onset osteoporosis, but that's kidded. That's kidded. We don't talk about kidded, even though we've talked about kidded loads. Move on. I'm going to go on a tangent.
Have you started the workout plan yet?
That sounds like a tangent.
Yes. Yeah.
No, mate. Like when I train, I'm used to doing like 5 and 5. So I am, and then there's like fucking 13 reps, and I'm like, I'm going to
Move
die.
on. Move on.
Anyway,
This is a private conversation. Move on.
Right, yeah, dead on. Yeah, the Eagles, they reached their back. What was it, Pink Bowl? They were at a few weeks ago in about 4 minutes time. Robbie will probably be like, yeah, it was. They're just back from a tournament in Europe somewhere. And I think they did really, really well, which means they're going to be very, very tired. And Big T, completely unbiased. Trojan Nation is going to come down to the sport campus on Sunday at 9:30. You can watch this match on YouTube. And they're going to ball out. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Dublin will be green. Yeah, sport campus will be green. Up at Trojans.
Are we meant to commentate in this or do the filler bits when we're this biased?
Oh, I've already I've asked. They're probably and it's probably not going to happen. But it's like, can I borrow like an XXL fucking flag jersey?
Yeah, can we get like caps?
But after I asked the question, I was like, I don't think people my size play flag. So I don't think there'd be an appropriate jersey to fit me.
Mostly in Division 1.
Yeah. It was completely unbiased. It was completely unbiased. But yes, at 1 hour and 15 minutes, I think we've taken up enough of everyone's time.
That's quite good for us.
Well, no, not you, Dave. You're always here. It's quick. But actually, will we go on a
this is
tangent for
quick,
10
Chris.
minutes just to pull this out?
No.
We're gonna go back to that. Yeah, so as we may have mentioned, if you're just joining us, this Sunday, Sport Campus, 9:30, AFI YouTube. Join me, Dave, Chrissy, Owen, Ruben, and whoever is unfortunate enough to get pulled to the side by me. And yeah. Well, thank you very, very much to Sam, and Joe for taking the time out of your evening to listen to my wanting ramblings. Best of luck for the weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We
Cheers.
shall be cheering you on. Unless you're up against the Trojans, and then we'll completely unbiasedly not be cheering you on. That instance.
Bring out the Trojans, Vuvuzelas.
Yeah. Yeah, stand there with a jazz flag. No, what are we talking about?
I'll be
But yes,
some cock in
thanks
that
for coming on, guys.
No problem.
And as always, I've been Chris, he's been Dave, she's been Chrissy, that's been Owen, we've been GreenZone, and we will